Okay. Now we should be good. We are good, and that is what is important. Because that is what I was trying to figure out ahead of time. Okay, perfect. Sorry about that, guys. I don't know. Oh, I should probably check the audio. What do I have? Where do I have audio to check it with? Can I check the audio with this one? Where do I have audio to check it with? Yeah, this one. Okay, audio is, let's just call it okay. We're going to say the audio is okay. It's not perfect. It's okay. So, okay, back to here. Now let's go. Let's go get everyone fed. Excuse me, everyone. It's raining. Crazy rainy day. It was storming just a little bit ago. So I have my, do I have my cheat sheet? I do. I have my cheat sheet. So today we are going to talk about, we're not going to talk a bunch of stuff. Homesteading, ADHD, mindfulness, dealing with the craziness that's going on in your head and in the world. Because all the craziness that's going on in the world right now, we are in high demand to make sure that our brain is functioning and doing what we want it to do. So I think the rain is past. So let's go get Sylvia fed first. I see her laying. See Miss Sylvia's laying right over there. See Miss Sylvia, right? Piggy. Yep. Piggy's just laying there in the dirt. So let's get some of the other stuff ready first. And then we will get everybody fed. So we're gonna start off in the barn. It's a good place to start. A nice, loud barn. If you guys haven't met, we have a new barn cat. Actually, we have 2 new barn cats. This one happens to be Brock. Right, Brock, you're just an angry little barn cat. So he lives in here now. That's Brock. He lives in the barn. Let's spin this around and we'll pop you guys right up here so that I can stay talking with you guys and see you and still have my cheat sheet. So, it is really loud in here today. So one of the main things about what I really like about homesteading and farming is I really like having control over my day. So my day is my own. Now, that's a little more complicated than it sounds. Someday, meaning your own might actually mean that you're doing lots of other silly things because the pig gets out, or you have to fix a cage, or there's babies, or there's something going on. But it does mean that your day is your own. And having a day as your own means that you are reliant on your own self. One of the things that I'm learning about that is how that also means that you have to make sure that your day is well planned out. So I've been doing things like I've started really getting used to using notebooks and using calendars to make sure that if there is something that I need to not forget, I have that written down. So a lot of times I play things by ear, and maybe I wasn't as productive as I used to be. I try to ebb and flow. I try a variety of different things. So I'm always trying different ways to change and grow and figure out what's going to be the best way to deal with this, that, and the other. So right now, I'm keeping a calendar, making sure that I don't forget when something needs to happen. So like, for example, I've started automating a lot of things. So like, for example, if someone wants to book a session with me as a life coach or as a garden coach, they can do that on my calendar, and it helps automatically syncs it up with my phone calendar and sends me a quick little message telling me that I have a client to talk to. And that is nice because it's almost like a built-in secretary, so I don't have to actually think about anything. I also make sure that if there's other important things that I have to do in the future, I put it into that calendar so that my phone reminds me that I have this event to do or that event to do. And that is, it sounds like it's not that big of a deal, but really, man, does it make life a lot easier when you don't have to, when you know that there's like a reminder to let you know that things are going to be okay. So I've learned that tool has definitely helped me with having control of my own time, but also staying organized. So something I like about farming, homesteading, gardening, this kind of stuff is that it gives you this peace of mind. You don't have to there's something nice about not having to punch a time clock. There's something nice about just kind of going with the flow. So, I wanted to do this stream about a half an hour earlier, but then it started storming. So I thought, you know what? I'm just going to sit and chill. And I just wait. You just wait for the storm to finish. And then you can jump into doing a project. Now, sometimes you have there's a fence down, or you got to get the hay in before it rains. And so, you're jumping around, you're doing things you're feeling stressed. But that's not as often as you think. It's a lot less often. Actually, in reality, it's really pretty rare that something is so urgent that there's such a high level of stress that you need to get done right then. Like I said, heyday. Maybe there's a couple other times, but really in general, it doesn't happen that often, which is really nice, which means that your day is your own. The other thing I like homesteading, gardening, is you get to be involved. So you can be as little or as much into the project. So if you want to be mindful and you just want to just sit and think about feeding the animals, just really get into, every time you put a scoop in and feeling how that feels. That's totally something that can also be done. Looks like he snuck out. I'm just going through and making sure that I have everybody food, because it's easy. It is easy to do to forget. Where is Ducky? I don't see Ducky right now, which is interesting. Oh, he's hanging out back there. Okay. Yeah, thank you, Dwayne. I bet that the rain is coming very soon. So, the other thing about homesteading and farming, gardening, and having control of your day, when you're like me and you just have crazy ADHD and it's just bouncing off, you can kind of dance around it. You can play to its strengths and its weaknesses. You can still be very productive, but you can also have it so it's not completely controlling or ruining your day. I know sometimes when I had a regular 9-to-5 job, which didn't happen very often, I had a few in my life, but sometimes, man, you just get so stressed because you had deadlines and you needed to get things done, and your ADHD is just like, no, we're not doing that today. And for those that don't know, it's not something that you can just be like, nah, it's cool. It's not just like something that you can just easily adapt to and deal with. Sometimes it gets to the point where it has so much control over your everyday life. Now, I have a lot of tricks: meditation, deep breathing, prioritizing, but sometimes it's just not good enough. You try and you cannot. The ADHD just won't settle down. And so this kind of stuff, being my own boss, having control of my own day, building my own structure is great. Now, there's its downfalls too. Sometimes, I could be more productive than I should be, and the ADD allows me an excuse to not be as productive as I should be. But I try rarely to let that excuse happen. Though it sometimes wins. We need one more scoop. I didn't realize that we were going to be one scoop shy. So, sorry, I know I'm a tad bit absent-minded right now. I'm making sure I don't forget anyone. Just want to make sure that every animal is happy and well fed. Okay, 2 guys outside. You got the guys outside and the other guys in the above. Now, the other cool thing is I used to be really bad at patience. Patience was not a virtue that I used to have. And raising animals, doing gardening, it kind of taught you, well, it doesn't kind of teach you, it teaches you very much that you have to have patience. Because waiting for an egg to hatch, getting a pig into a barn, a chicken just not wanting to do something that you want it to do, teaches you patience. Because you might want to be in a hurry, but a lot of times you're not. Also, living in a small town, living in a rural community also teach you patience, because you might think you're going to pop into a store for just a few minutes, and you might be there for 30 minutes because you ran into someone that you know, and you're just going to have a nice, fun conversation with them. You don't know next time you're going to see them, so you might just end up chit-chatting with them for a bit. Teaches you how to slow down and not fret so much. Did I not give those guys in? I did not. Guys, I'm slacking at this. I'm doing bad today. I need to get one more scoop. I didn't time that right. Or didn't measure that out right. Silly me. We got the extra scoop, so we're good now. I want these guys to be homebred chickens. I want them to be full belly chickens. Okay, those guys need some water over there. And then I'll say that I did good. And here, got all these guys. This is the next barn I'll be working on addressing. This is the next big thing. Condensing down, making the flow better. We had some experiments, we did some ideas, and they just, not all of them worked out the way they should have. So how can we connect the connection with our land and natural rhythms? So one of the ways, and this is why this works so good for me, is we can get up, me and Lisa get up when we want, and we feed everybody. Like, we have a kind of a set schedule when we feed everyone, but it can vary based off of like a storm coming or our moods, or if we've got other chores to do throughout the course of the day. Most of the time we feed everybody in the middle of the afternoon. This seems to be one of the best times to feed everyone. It works out good with their schedule and our schedule, but you know, it might be modified. I think yesterday it just made sense to feed everybody early. We were up early, we were out and about. We thought it was going to rain, so we just got all of our farm chores done early. Sometimes we don't get our farm chores. Sometimes we'll go into town and we'll work on some stuff, and we won't get our farm chores done till the evening. Excuse me, guys. But most of the time, it's a fairly regular, normal, everyday time. Like now. Whatever now is for you. Now. Make sure I get all the bunnies outside. Don't want to forget any bunnies. I do need to make sure, remember, I got the baby bunnies in the barn. Don't want to forget the baby bunnies in the barn. So when we get down over here, I'll show you guys the bunnies. We'll go look at them, say hi to the young kits, young bunnykins. Okay. Bunnies are good. First batch of bunnies are good. Let's head over to the second batch of bunnies. While we're heading over to the second batch of bunnies, let me get this all in place. So we're going to talk about some practical tips. So one of the nice things is, if you guys can see, I've got like trees growing right here. So these are some of my pawpaws that I started growing from seed. Some of these are mine growing from seed, and some are one of our friends. Really good at growing pawpaws, and so she helps out. We give her pawpaw seeds every year, and she grows and makes more trees for us. And then, because one of the things that's really important is you can never have enough trees. So yesterday is a great example. Yesterday, me and Lisa got to, happened to be 2, which was great. So we have this plum called the bubblegum plum, and I'm telling you, it's one of the best names for it ever. It smells and tastes just like bubblegum. It's almost like having candy in a fruit, and absolutely love it. A couple years ago, it was so many came up that we were just absolutely covered up in plums, and I loved it. It was great. But the last couple years, it's just, yeah. This year, I thought we were going to have so many. But it turned out we didn't have as many. Well, we had 2. The tree needs some work. I'm going to have to really, the tree was injured a couple years ago. And I thought what I did was going to fix it. I thought it was going to be fine. It just wasn't. So a lot more attention that tree's going to need. So this fall, I'll be giving the tree a lot more needed attention. Probably trim it back a lot. Try to help it recover from its injury. So it got I can't say I got struck by lightning, but it got some ice on it last year, and it split part of the tree, and that just hurt it. So part of it's a lot of it's my fault. So in the past, I was really going on this whole, like, I'm not going to trim my fruit trees. I'm just going to naturally let them do their thing. And I'm hence finding out that is, especially if you buy a fruit tree. You just want to see one of baby bunnies? Baby bunny. He is squirmy, squirmy, squirmy. But here's one of the squirmy baby bunnies. He's hungry. He wants some food. But one of the baby young bunnies, it's like, but my friends are eating and I didn't get a chance to eat yet. So let's give him that food. Not fair. Put food in there and then take him out. I'm waiting all day for you to come by. And then you just leave. You take me out. So yeah, so going back to the tree. So my fault. It was I should have probably trimmed the trees more. Again, always learning lessons. But next year, actually probably this fall, is what I'm going to shoot for. Is I'm going to shoot for trying to buy like maybe 3 or 4 of those bubblegum plums, and trying to get them to proliferate throughout my yard. Hopefully, crossing my fingers, hopefully I will be able to do that without too much of an issue. Okay, I'm going to head back over this way. We're going to make sure everybody's got water. I got to put some food into the babies, in the barn babies. So let's take the whole thing over there. And then we'll give Sylvia some food. And then we'll go for a short little walk, because it's been a little while, guys. We haven't went for a walk and haven't showed you what some of the things have looked like. Guys are wondering why I'm in the evening doing video games, as there's just been a lot going on, and so video games are a good way for me to just calm my mind and to refocus things that I want to be thinking about. And so I've been playing games that help kind of stimulate the thinking parts of my mind, and so I've noticed that it's just a nice way to do that. Make sure everybody's got water. Looks like everyone does. Just a little extra water for everyone. Perfect. Let me get this food into the baby bunnies over here. So then we get that done, and then we'll go for our walk. Then we'll feed Sylvia. Then we will go for our walk. Because feeding Sylvia is very important. Because when you have a 600-pound pig, she doesn't want you to forget to give her food. Okay, let's go over, and I think I saw Miss Sylvia over by the fence over here. Let's go give her some food over at the side fence. Miss Sylvia. You can see Miss Sylvia right back over there. Miss Sylvia, what are you doing? Come on. These ducks are going to come eat all your food. Miss Sylvia. Good piggy. Okay. Put this back in the barn. And we're gonna go, let's go check out. We're gonna take the back path, or back secret path. I'm going to go see the just-in-time garden and my new expansion of that. Some of you have not seen the expansion of that yet. Ooh, that was cold. So we're gonna go check that out because you guys might be interested in seeing that. So. Lovely thistles. Back down the lovely back path. So we're going to be using that for a future project. So you can see I didn't cut the hayfield yet. Again, this year we're going to brush hog it very soon. And I'm going to go on restoring some of the, source some of the hay. It'll take a little bit of time getting used to, but wow, it is really humid right now. So it wasn't so bad earlier, but now, man, it is crazy. So one of my blackberry patches, lots of lovely blackberries. Got lots of great blackberries off this patch already, and this just has more going. Love it. So we'll start off at the watering hole. So we've got our scarecrow, we got our little scarecrow, my Justin Crow here to try to scare people away. I hear a kitty meowing. Yeah, I hear you meowing, Catty. I don't know what you want. Why? So come down over here. We have these has actually done a wonderful job of keeping away. I'm doing a pretty good job of keeping away the deer. I hear you, kitty. What do you want? Who are you? I hear kitty just mewing up here. Let's go see what the cat's mewing about. We're gonna come up here. By the way, guys, if you guys watch, this is the area that I caught on fire a year or so ago. As you guys can see, can't even tell I did that. So it's just crazy growing up here. Oh, it's Kiwi. Hi, Kiwi. What are you doing up here, Kiwi? Are you trying to catch birds? Yeah, you're catching birds, Kiwi? Okay, good. Great. Just wanted to make sure he wasn't hurt or anything. He's just up here mewing away. So my mullein, look how great it looks. So have to collect some seeds so I can plant some more in the near future. So let's go down. We'll go down the rows. So the first row here, this is all tomatoes. We put these late in the year so that we could have tomatoes later in the year. This is going to be more berries. These are snowberries, and the snowberries did wonderful. It was great. This is another small little row of snowberries, but we also have planted squash. But the one thing I'm excited about this year is, if you look, we've got some lovely watermelon. So watermelon doesn't usually do well here, but it being hot and us keeping this black surface down, the watermelon did well. Got another lovely watermelon right there. Very excited about those. These lovely. These are beautiful. Planted these. I look forward to. We're going to be planting, since we know how well these do here now. We're just going to be planting tons of these all around. Just nice little pockets of these all around the yard because they do so well. So tomatoes. This is potatoes that didn't do very well. My horseradish up here. We've got some lovely cabbage. And then we have a cantaloupe that decided to pop in here all on its own. My asparagus. Some more squash. More squash. And whoa. What you doing, phone? We'll turn this off for a second, then turn it back on. Oh, we're looking at, we got the squash and the blackberries right then. Another patch of blackberries. Okay. And some watermelons and some things. And then you can kind of see my corn. So I've got some rows of corn. I need to go through and I cut it out again, but there's some rows of corn throughout the path here. Some more watermelon. That lovely sky. Looks like it's going to storm back that way. And then I have a couple raised garden beds, trying out some new things here. So this is a raised garden bed full of tomatoes, and I'm using paper as mulch to see what a paper mulch is like. I've got some of the pumpkin squash. These are really interesting types of pumpkin squash in here. And then in my greenhouse, I have my micro greenhouse. We have some pumpkin, we have some watermelon and tomatoes growing in here. So I'm kind of interested what happens in here. So that's why there is that fun experiment. And then I guess we're just going to do the walk around this way. And it keeps going that way. So we'll do this nice little walk around the path this way. So we got the cows up on the mountain. So in the next, I think next 2 weeks, we'll be cutting the field. So my little path around the side won't be quite as fun. But yeah, we put a nice path around. Is that Mullins? Okay, great. Then I have probably a little bit more than enough time to get back to the house before the weather turns crazy. Yes, if you look over that way, guys, you can see where it looks like it's wanting to storm up that way. We got some rose hips here, and we are going to have an abundance of choke cherries, which is great. I'm leaving this patch here in particular so that the monarchs have plenty of place to do their butterfly thing, so that we have plenty of milkweed. And then over here, if you guys want to see, I actually hand scythed all of this myself. So I've been practicing with the hand scythe, and so I hand scythed all of that. And then there's a little patch throughout here in the middle where we're going to allow things to keep growing, and that is where the elderberries live. I've got a decent amount of elderberries. I still have more to come, which is exciting, because elderberries is one of my favorite things to make medicine with. So that is the elderberry patch right there. Here is the field from this side. Yeah, this is the nice thing about, having the day to yourself and having control, being your own, doing your one-person business, figuring out ways to generate revenue through your mind, yourself, is that you can have the freedom, have control of your day. So in the future, I'll be offering more online classes. I'll be doing a lot of, I'm going to be writing a book soon on different ways to move out to rural areas and to generate revenue that way. From running bed and breakfasts to doing small farms. There's lots of things that you can do. How did this get all the way over here? I don't know. So we'll be talking about things like that. Talking about ways to recycle, reuse, and all that kind of good stuff. So hello from Maine. Or not from Maine, but I read that wrong. Hello. Who is in my driveway? That doesn't matter. So, I want to show you guys just one more thing since we're heading back to the house. Let me spin this around. Very excited. I planted this apple tree a couple years ago. This is a cinnamon apple tree. I'm hoping that the apples taste like cinnamon apples. They're supposed to, so it'll still be a few weeks before that apple tree does that, and then some other apples up this way. Very excited about all of that. And then we're going to say hi to my 2 beehives. So these are kind of the chill out bees. They kind of hang out. What scale composting? I do light composting because a lot of the stuff I feed to my chicken and my chickens and my pig. So I do light composting. I usually do the composting to do soil rebuilding. So I'll use a lot of the chicken poop and the rabbit poop to make sure that I can do soil rebuilding. But when it comes to food scraps and such, most of the time that goes to the animals first, and then I take their poop and turn that into compost. So I let them eat it. That's what I usually like to do. So, and then here is my messy front porch. And then here are my bees. Just to give you perspective, this is my bees. This is a front porch. There is my door, the door that me and Lisa go out. And I have bees that live right here. And look, I can put my finger right up to the bees, and you just train your bees to like you. And I would say bees are probably one of the best things to have. They're one of my favorites. I will probably always have bees for as long as I homestead. Actually, I'll probably have bees for the rest of my life because I really enjoy raising bees. And once you get used to it, once you understand how they work, and once you understand like kind of their mood, bees are really easy they're one of the easier animals, insects, creatures to deal with. They have rules, and you understand their rules, and you just stick to their rules. The other thing I've got going on up here is I have some lion's mane mushroom growing. So these are my lion's mane mushroom kits. And then I also behind me have a few kits of the pink mushrooms. So they're still, I just recently made the kits. They're about a week or so old. I'll open up these holes in the future so that I can have yummy, tasty mushrooms. But yeah, chickens, I love raising chickens. Chickens Chickens are another thing. I'll probably always have chickens. I'll probably always have guineas, maybe a couple ducks, rabbits, and bees, and then of course raising and then having trees and crops. It's just all those they don't seem like a lot of work. So as soon as I can get a few quail, I'll have quail again. I used to always have quail, and in the last 2 years I've just having a tough time because I don't need 50 quail. I just kind of want a few, about 10. And so I just haven't got a chance to order 10 quail. Just haven't found a place. They mostly want you to order the big orders, and I haven't found anybody to split orders with quail. So I haven't really got a nice quail order, but quails are very fun. No, my rabbits, so I do have a couple free range rabbits, and they're usually pretty good. It's wild cats that usually eat the babies, but what I've noticed is the rabbits over time, they really learn to adapt, especially if you've got lots of places for them. Lots of places for them. Lots of places. Also, I don't have any. Maybe it's because of the insects, just because we have lots of bats that live in my house, and I have a lot of variety of stuff to grow. So I do a lot of edge. I do a lot of permaculture. So I don't really have any pest insects that overpower anything else. Like if I start getting too much of one thing, then I'll get the counteraction. It'll kind of balance that out. So I'll have like assassin beetles that'll come in and get rid of stuff, or I'll have praying mantises come in, or my frog population will increase. My tree frog population is absolutely exploding this year, but I think it's partly because some of the insect population it didn't die off that much in the winter, so that in turn meant there was more for the tree frogs to eat. I made sure I left ponds and little areas for the tree frogs to come, so the tree frogs would get in there, they'd eat the mosquito larvae. I also use the mosquito larvae in my fish aquariums for where I raise cories and guppies. So I will agree, ticks are absolutely crazy this year. It is one of the higher bad years for ticks, but that's just that's just extra maintenance. I only have like 7 guineas right now, so that my tick that's probably why also my tick population is so great. And it's just been a great year for ticks, really. Ticks and spiders, it's just been a perfect year for them. So it's just extra maintenance. It's just things you just gotta know. Whatever environment that you live in, you always got to pay extra attention to whatever the quirk is. So you live in the inner city. I grew up in the inner city. You got to watch your back. You got to be careful of other people, and you got to be careful of traffic, and you got to be careful of wild dog or, people's dogs. Here in the country, you got to worry things about ticks. You got to be, you got to know when you're out in the woods. You got to make sure that you know what predators could be in the woods that could injure you or harm you, or you got to be careful, if you fall and get hurt in the woods. When you call 911, they're probably not going to find you. So those are things that you have to be careful with. So the peach tree across the street, I usually don't do here in southern West Virginia, especially at my altitude, just under 3,700. I usually don't have peaches, but my neighbor I'll go look at it. My neighbor has a peach tree across the street, and it seems to be doing well. But most all fruit trees, with the exception of my blueberry plum, most all fruit trees did really well. My elderberries, my grapes, blackberries, raspberries. We went to Blueberry Hill, and Blueberry Hill had lots and lots of blueberries. So lots and lots of great stuff. Let me spin this around for you guys so I can show you guys my neighbor's peaches. Oh, hold on. My gimbal is gimbling again. I think it's time for a new gimbal. So this peach tree, it's got some, you can see, I don't know if you guys can see, but there's some nice peaches. There's some nice peaches here. This is let's see what this peach is. So it's a little split, but we'll see pretty good. Oh, for those that can't really see my house right now because I have the trees in the way, but for those that are interested in where I live, here's my house. It's a Queen Anne Victorian. It was built about 125 130 years ago. So just a lovely, beautiful house. So let's see what this peach is like. Definitely not ready. Close, but not quite ready. Very tasty though. It's going to be a very tasty peach. Got some injury on it. That's okay. I eat dirty fruit all the time. So you get some extra protein in it. No worries. It's a little extra protein. You know, like we used to eat extra protein and such all the time. So nothing I need to worry about. But JL, you said that you had chickens. I would highly suggest trying to get some bees. I would say carnies are probably the best bet for people that are the first time raising bees. Get yourself some bees. You might lose them, just straight up, but having them, you learn a whole lot. You learn a whole lot learning about the bees, getting into them, having them learn your smell. You learn about what you can deal with. So most of the time, this is what I'll wear going out the bees. I do think eye cover is important, so you don't want the bees to get stung in your eyes. So I sometimes will put around the edges of the glasses. If you've got the little things that kind of protect, that kind of wrap around, but in reality, like, you should probably wear a veil, maybe a suit the first time. But this is how I go when I get in with my bees. I do like them not to get sting in my palms of my hands. So, but and just make sure since I got dreads, I got my long dreads. I try to make sure that I keep my hair up, because it does suck when you get the bees in your hair. But raise bees. Telling everyone, raise bees. Like I said, I keep mine. I keep one hive on the front porch. I keep one hive around the side, and I have one hive in my fruit lab, or in my in the farm lab where all the fruit trees are. You'll notice that your yields of your veggies and your fruit will just increase, because bees do an amazing thing. Your wildflowers, you'll find more wildflowers. You'll end up seeing more insects and more other bees than you've ever had before, because I think the plants just know when there's bees around. So in like 2 years, our bumblebees, the big bumblebees, the bumblebee population just exploded. And part of it, I think, is because we have bees now. And the plants have just learned to produce more flowers. They produce to be more. There's just more of everything. And that more of everything is good. We keep hearing about all these collapses, like, they're talking about this ecosystem's collapsing, or this ecosystem's collapsing. Well, I've been here for 20 years. Behind me used to be a hayfield. So all of that you see there used to just be grass and a hayfield. So all the trees and all the plants I've either planted or allowed to grow, and then just focused on digging some ponds, getting some things, bringing in ducks, making suitable habitats for frogs, toads, salamanders, then making habitats for the birds, making habitats for the chipmunks and the squirrels. And then, you just slowly start building up the ecosystem like that, until the point where you walk back there, and there's so much life in my backyard. There's bugs, there's worms, you just dig in the ground. It feels like it did when I was a kid. When people talk about, now, we've killed all the bugs and there's so much less birds and there's so much. Not for me. And I got 33 acres, and I'm talking what I did. My farm lab is on a little bit more than a quarter of an acre, and have, about 1,000, maybe 2,000 pine trees, 15 fruit trees, tons of other stuff that I just put in there. So it's doable. It just takes time. The world's going to tell you to be scared, or it's going to tell you everything's bad. The world's going to keep saying, be scared, be bad, be afraid. Everything is dangerous. Everything is bad. Everything is wrong. When you get out in the garden, and you get out in the woods, and you breathe in the fresh air, yeah, the weather might be a little kooky this year. Weather might be a little kooky next year. Weather could be changing. I don't have control over the weather. If I did, that would be cool, but I don't. I can't control the weather. Maybe the government can, maybe our decisions can, but I can't. So I enjoy what we've got. I adapt to what we have. I use my eyes, my logic to deal with whatever craziness is happening. But peaches are thriving, my bugs are thriving. So enjoy what's happening now. Plan for tomorrow. Look at yesterday, plan for tomorrow, enjoy the hell out of today, because you don't know how many more todays you're going to have. So I say that because one of the other things on a farm that you realize is things are regularly born and things regularly die, and they regularly die. Going from being a city kid to not dealing with death very much, and just how much it used to hit me. Like, death used to be one of the hardest things for me, man. It used to hit me hard. Now it's kind of a fun new chapter. I don't like when things are gone. I like their energy that exists, but you get used to it. You're just like, yeah, his energy is going to be in something else. Like, oh, like one of our bunnies died not too long ago. One of our favorite rabbits, Cindy. And it's like, oh, I wonder what new animal energy is going to fill the void now that Cindy's gone. What animal energy is going to come in? Where's Cindy going to put her energy in the future? So that's kind of really fun. It's looking out for the next energy. I need to remember I have some apricot seeds I need to plant. And just what new energy is going to come. So anyways, guys, I'm rambling on. It's easy for me to do. I'm good at rambling. You guys like this kind of stuff? I do this kind of stuff whenever I feel like it. In the evenings, I play video games. We talk about this kind of stuff. You guys can come in and join me. I teach classes here in Southern West Virginia. You guys are down here in Southern West Virginia, passing through Flat Top. You're going down 77 and you're passing through Flat Top and you want to come check this place out. It's Mavis Institute, Mavis Pharmacy, Mavis Manor, whatever. Mavis is my brand. So if you're in Bluefield, we'll teach classes about once a month. And if you want to support me, you can go to themavispharmacy.com. That's pharmacy with an F. And there's lots of stuff on there. And if you're looking for a life coach or someone just to help you figure out your path in life, get a hold of me. That's what I do for a living. That and day trading. I don't know if you guys saw the stock market today. Not a good day to day trade. Crypto and the stock market are not happy. So days like this, you just step back, you just take a break. Let the blood clear from the water. Don't stress so much. Because if you worry about everything that's happening, life will be bad. And as someone trying to make it at least as old as my house, trying to make it to 122, and then after that, as long as I feel good, I'm going to keep going that way. But as someone who wants to live to a very ripe old age, one of the things I learned is just chill out. Just be cool. Just be cool. Just chill. It'll be okay. You can handle it. You can do it. And if you can't, find a buddy to help you, convince you that it will be okay, because it always will. Because if it's not okay, you're not here anymore. And you get to play another game. You get to start all over again and learn a whole new set of skills. So, anyways, friends, Stock, Justin, whatever you guys like to call me. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. If you want to join my Discord, it's discord.gg/xDrFirefly. At least it'll be like that for a little while. Bunch of cool people on there. We talk about all this kind of stuff. And when I'm not live, I'm usually on there hanging out. So, anyways, friends, that beautiful peach pit. Anyways, friends, I will talk to you later. Adios. That's not how you turn it off.